employee engagement are more important than ever for every organization. Customers expect a personalized experience through their preferred communication channels. They expect intuitive self-service options, and they want to be connected to people who have a complete view of all their history and the right mix of skills to help solve their query on the first call. Introducing Solgari. Solgari's Cloud Contact Center for Microsoft Teams and Dynamics 365 enables every employee to be a customer service champion. Deployed from Microsoft Azure in minutes and configured by the client in days, Solgari delivers rapid speed to value and removes the risk typically associated with complex systems integration projects. Customers can access the organization on their preferred communication channel, voice, SMS, or social. Advanced self-service powered by Azure OpenAI ensures customers can be authenticated and find answers to common issues quickly. Intelligent skills-based routing connects customers with the right people to resolve their issue on the first call. Customer service agents are assisted with AI-powered co-pilots that can summarize the user's query and quickly help find the best solutions from within the organization's knowledge base. With Solgari for Teams, other colleagues can be brought into the conversation to help resolve any queries and also to support where there are cross-sell or upsell opportunities. Supervisors can coordinate the entire experience by monitoring and mentoring agents mid-call. Solgari provides real-time analytics and reports with powerful management tools for easy queue or group adjustments. Business leaders are protected as Solgari automatically meets the exacting standards of all highly regulated industries, unlocking the full potential of the Microsoft estate. Solgari and Microsoft, enabling every employee to be a customer service champion.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another installment of ISV Success Live. My name is Brian Galicia, and I lead our global Dynamics ISV business here at Microsoft. And it's an honor and pleasure to have Solgari back again. This is the third iteration of this conversation, but I love it when we have repeat ISVs come on stage again because of the innovation we're doing together. And Solgari has done some amazing things, as you've seen. For any of you who have watched the Solgari engagements that we've done in the past, you'll be able to not only see in that video, but also in the conversation we're going to have with John and Paul, all the amazing innovation and the impact that we're doing together. So before we get started, let me just do a quick round of just things to be aware of as we start the show. So one is, if you've never come across the show before, we do these every Monday, and the intent is to really highlight and showcase our Dynamics 365 ISV ecosystem on the amazing innovation that they're doing together jointly with us across the Microsoft Cloud. So we'd love to hear where you're watching from. So if you just want to type in the window the location, I'm doing this, of course, from Seattle, the west coast of the United States. And John and Paul are, of course, in Europe, in the great area, the great country of Ireland. And so if you want to type in the window where you're watching from, we'll do a quick shout out at the beginning. The second is that if you have a question, this is going to be a jam-packed conversation, but if you do have a question that gives me an opportunity to ask John or Paul, if you want to put that in the LinkedIn window, we'll definitely, hopefully try to carve out time towards the very end to ask a real-time question. And then finally, if you just want to put in or utilize one of the emoji icons, celebrate, like, etc., that also gives us insight to know that the content is actually resonating. So without further ado, John, welcome back. Paul, welcome to the show for the very first time. We truly appreciate the partnership. So John, we'll just kick it off with you. And again, you can resurface again. People probably know you as the CEO of Solgari, but give a little background of what you do. And I'm going to change it up because, of course, they've heard you talk about what's one thing on your LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to ask you, what was the most recent movie you watched? And then Paul, when we get to you, because you've never been on the show before, same thing, but the question that I always ask my first-time guests is, what is one thing not on your LinkedIn profile? So, John, we'll start with you. Welcome to the show again.
Brian, great to be here. Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure. I'm the CEO of Solgari, one of the co-founders of the company. A mission to improve customer service and employee engagement, basically from the word go. And we're delighted that they're very topical at the moment. The most recent movie was this weekend, actually, and it was the remastered 40 years later version of Talking Heads live movie, Stop Making Sense. So if anyone hasn't seen it 40 years ago or in the interim, definitely go if you have a great time. It's a brilliant movie.
I love it. I love it, John. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to think too. In the movie theaters, is that even something I've seen? Of course, being the father of two teenagers, the one that everyone who's a girl dad is watching the Taylor Swift video. Well, it's not even a movie. It's just kind of a repeat of one of her shows. But I love it. I'll have to check that out. So, Paul, we'll go to you. Again, you can introduce yourself because you're, I wouldn't say new, but new to this show. Maybe, again, some context to your specific role that you work closely with us, and then what's one thing on your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Yep, great to be on your show. So I've been working with Solgari for a little over a year. And I think there's a few folks, hopefully, that are tuning in who would know me from being in Microsoft for over 18 years. So I'm looking after really working with Solgari and really working closely on the Microsoft partnership globally. Very, very focused on how do we scale this business, with the fantastic support of the Microsoft team. And must say, having an absolute ball. So yeah, it's great. What's not on my LinkedIn profile? John will expect this of me when he hears what I'm going to talk about. So for any of you who have watched the Welcome to Wrexham on Disney story, which is the Ryan Reynolds going and investing with another of his colleagues in Wrexham Football Club, I have similar connections. So I'm from a place in England called Chesterfield. We have a fantastic football team who 5 seasons ago were knocked out of the English Football League into the non-league, and we are like Wrexham, fighting hard then to get back in the league. So what's not on my profile is I'm a Chesterfield fan, very ardent supporter. I travelled over at the weekend to watch them beat a club 48 places ahead of them in the league in the FA Cup, and so I'm having a lot of fun with that, Brian.
I love it, Paul. Yeah, every time I hear those types of stories, first thing I think about is Ted Lasso. I love that conversation, and yeah, I mean, I'm a big sports fan. I try to keep in track of all the different types of sports. But yeah, that club that you talked about, I'll have to have a deeper conversation with you. Could never heard of them. But of course, being from Seattle, and soccer is a big thing. Well, what we call soccer in the United States. So thank you for sharing that. Let's do a quick shout out to all the people watching, and we have such an amazing group of people. So I definitely want to do a quick round, super quick. So Peter, thank you so much. Just probably super close to you, both of you in Ireland. Jill, thank you so much for watching from Minneapolis. Suzanne from Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you. Connor from London, England. Thank you so much, Connor. Beth from Chicago in the Midwest. Thank you so much. We have Chris from Los Angeles. So thank you. Steve from Brighton, London, or Brighton, England. Thank you so much. Luz from Seattle. And of course, everyone knows, well, you'll know Aaron Maselli. And I don't know why LinkedIn does this, but this is Aaron Maselli. So thanks, Aaron Maselli, for tuning in and supporting your partner. We have Jack from Boston. So thank you. Fantastic. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name, Talal from Pakistan. I love it when we have such a global audience from around the world. So thank you for staying up super late, your time to listen. We have Cade from Salt Lake City, Utah. Thank you so much. Sienna from Dallas, Texas. I promise we're almost done here. Let's see here. We have Jason from Boston, Massachusetts. I'll have to look later to see who this is, but thanks. So there you go, Paul. I assume that this is the
that's the football. That's it, exactly. Yeah.
So that's great. Hopefully you from Ghent, Belgium. Thank you so much. Barca from Dublin, another Irish, someone from Ireland. Another English person from Nottingham. Thank you so much. 2 more. We have Raphael from Athens, Georgia. We have another Irish person, Nal. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name. And then one more. I think we have them all. So fantastic. It shows the great engagement. So why don't we just get started? And we'll start with you, John. When you think about, just as a reminder for people who've never heard of Solgari before, maybe you can spend a few minutes just talking about what are the business outcomes you drive in digital contact center, supporting agents, customer service, etc.
Sure. So, I mean, providing a cloud digital contact center, we felt wasn't enough. We felt that there's much more to exceptional customer engagement and employee engagement experiences than just having a contact center. And, contact center functionality has been around for a long, long time. So what we've added to it is that ours is pure natively cloud. So it's incredibly quick to stand up. Days, weeks at most, depending on the level of cooperation we get from the customer. But for example, we've got the largest housing agency in Europe, stood up in 811 agents, fully stood up in 6 days, full contact center, multiple channels, etc. But there's more to it than that. And so in our cloud contact center, we incorporate full cloud telephony, all the inbound that you would have, intelligent call routing, modern skills-based routing, which even includes agents' channel proficiencies, etc. So modern skills-based routing, outbound for bulk, etc. for voice or any channel that takes it. We have got all the channels, so all the social channels, etc. But key to us is that everything is integrated. All of the transactions and all of the data are all integrated in one place. And that's important, really important, as you move forward into AI and CI, etc., because full data in real time is the friend of AI and CI and accuracy. We're deeply embedded in all the Microsoft products. So we're Azure based. We're on 9 or 10 instances of Azure worldwide already. We can put up a brand new instance of Solgari on an Azure instance in 90 minutes. For any jurisdiction that requires that from a regulatory perspective, we can do that in 90 minutes for a customer. We're deeply integrated with Dynamics. So as our starting point, as you well know, Brian, deeply integrated with Dynamics as a CRM. We've added the integration of Teams in the last 12 months and our new release then of Microsoft and Nuance AI, which allows for things like you saw in the video, sentiment analysis and conversation summary, etc., etc. And the whole thing is we focus on the end customer and the agent. They're the two people that matter most. So giving them the full tools and facilities that allows the agent to behave in a way that shows that the customer, you know them, you have all of their transactions at your fingertips, you have all of the data relating to them, there isn't any repeat. We do intelligent inbound routing so that you get to the expert has all of the data at their fingertips. So it's all about that immediacy. We stand up rapidly, and so time to value for the customer is very short. There's no project risk or cost or time waste. It's all up. All of the products are engaged, and of course, Microsoft and Microsoft partners love that as well because you're engaged on day 6 rather than having a 6 or 12-month project to put a contact center in place. So that's really what we're about. It's about customer service starting and ending there and working our way back into the technology to ensure that every aspect of it allows for that first call resolution and satisfaction.
Yeah, well said, John. I love it because, when we first started this dialogue, I think almost 3 years ago, just the evolution of that mission statement and vision has evolved, meaning it's always been about the customer. I love how you just said that it's the customer and the agent. But the things that you brought to the table over the past 3 years of innovation working with Microsoft has evolved into utilizing and maximizing the Microsoft Cloud is evident to not just the video at the beginning, but then for those of you who want to stay at the end, we have another video that really showcases some of the Gen AI work across different things. And congratulations too, like just today for people who follow Solgari, there's a great posting on the Solgari LinkedIn company page that talks about some of the innovation regarding Copilot and the things that we're doing together. And so maybe that's a good segue, Paul, as you've again been in the Solgari business now for close to a year, knowing Microsoft, but also the work that we're doing together. Maybe you can talk about, again, the constant innovation and partnership we're driving together because you're activating and taking advantage of all this amazing innovation to drive this not only customer experience, but providing that value very, very quickly that John had denoted.
No, absolutely, Brian. And I think one of the things that I've seen evolve incredibly quickly. So as I say, I started working with the guys around about this time last year. The focus then was very much on the primary engagement, which was in Dynamics 365. So Solgari sits natively embedded within D365. And in the last 12 months, what's really come on has been now the Teams product. So the fact that Solgari made some decisions, early in the development cycle, which are now really paying off. One was to develop within the Teams environment in as deeply integrated a way as you can, which is called the extend model, and also in the Dynamics model, it's a thing called the SIF2 integration, and everything's built natively on Azure. So really, the innovation that you see now coming is this ability to simply add functionality and extend out of the Microsoft platform, and that's incredibly powerful, Brian, because if you look at the latest, the announcements today, the AI in Teams and AI in Dynamics, what you'll see now is this ability to just keep turning on additional functionality for clients that have made a decision to say, hey, look, we are committed to the Microsoft platform. We like what we get, the value that we get from being, on any of the 3 Microsoft clouds. And what they now want is they've made that decision. Fundamentally, they've made a decision that they're invested in that Microsoft cloud story, the security and everything that goes with it. What we now want is we want additional features and functionality so that we can really do more in that platform. And that's exactly the Solgari development message. It's just continuing to develop and extend the platform that customers have already invested in. So specifically what that looks like is the Teams app. Again, for anybody on the call that hasn't looked at it, and particularly I know that there's partners as well as Microsoft folks on this call. Take a look now at what you can do, what a user can do. Where most enterprises, 300 million active users today are using Teams in anger. And what those organizations, what those enterprises want to do is they've made the commitment to say, look, we're using Teams for collaboration. They're looking at now for communication. Over 17 million of them now have invested in Teams Phone. And, and again, the growth in that was 45% year-on-year growth last year. And I'm sure it'll be at the same pace this year. And the next phase of it is they say, well, we're in the platform. We're collaborating. We're now communicating internally and externally, all within this single platform. What we now want to do is we want to run our line of business applications from within the Teams application, and that's what we do. We just surface all of that fantastic functionality that John talked to. That's both what the customers want. It means that they can communicate across any channel. It's what the employee, the person who's using the thing, wants to do. That they stay within that flow of work. And then they can simply get the job done with all of this line of business application. So that's very exciting. So that continued development off that core foundation of being natively integrated, that's fantastic. And the AI developments, as you say, we announced today, are just the next hyper growth opportunity for all of us. Because we've launched sentiment analysis, we've launched customer summary. We're also doing some work on the back end in terms of helping organizations balance the performance of their entire organization. And as you know, these case studies are just going to keep coming and growing and growing. And the benefit of the way we do this in partnership with Microsoft is we take your toolkits, we deliver these scenarios around specific personas, specific roles, specific industries, and we just deliver what those clients need. And the good news, it's a cloud SaaS model, is we only charge for what they need. And again, so that's a tremendously aligned strategy to Microsoft's strategy to have Microsoft Copilots out there for broad, generalized functions, and then partners like us building off our own Copilots and other AI services that are, very much focused on the pieces that organizations need. So a lot going on, Brian. It's an exciting
I think
space right now.
touched on something there, Brian, that's important too, in terms of innovation. So our integration with Teams is the thing that's allowed us to expand out beyond just the contact center. So, everybody, if you look at the McKinsey report, where everybody's responsible for customer service, everybody in the company. And, Microsoft and ourselves as a partnership allow for that. Microsoft have put Teams into the hands of everybody. And because we're deeply integrated with Teams, we can very easily have an agent to draw in an expert, could be a private banker, it could be a clinical psychologist, depending on the vertical, into a three-way conversation to close a deal or to make an add-on sale or to resolve a customer service issue or whatever it should be. And it's not just contained within the agent and the supervisor in the contact center. This is now taking the full resource of the company and the capacity that the company has to do good customer service. And we're giving the technology to allow for that.
I love it, John and Paul. I mean, well said. And I love how you just talked about the flow of where people are at and how you've extended the use case scenarios around where people are at. Because if people, to your point, adopt Teams, guess what? They're in Teams, driving this agent engagement productivity for the behalf of the end customer. Before we get back to John and the customer stories, one thing I do want to highlight and also talk about as well, and maybe between you, Paul and John, you can just make a few comments on Marketplace. I think that's the other innovation that you have done very closely with us, because you think about how Microsoft has continued to evolve over the past many years. The few things that remain topical, especially this current fiscal year that we're currently in. One big thing, of course, is how are our partners adopting Gen AI? And you articulated really well with the work you're doing, not just incorporating it into your own solutions with sentiment analysis. You could touch upon Nuance, John, but also Copilot. But the other component is how do people actually procure it? And so maybe one of you can just briefly talk about that Marketplace capability, because you are transactable across Azure and Teams. So maybe you can spend just a brief minute talking about Marketplace transactability.
John, will I?
I just to say that we started off with systems integration partners, great partners like Stoneridge in the US, would be a good example. Our systems in Asia Pacific, ANS in the UK, etc. Now Avant in the States, etc. Moved out beyond that, then to the modern workplace partners with Teams, etc. And that's gone really well. Out to the telcos and the CSPs, where we're absolutely flying with people like AT&T and Call Tower in the US. We're just signing up Cordia in New Zealand. We're going live here with big telcos in Europe and in the Middle East. Fantastic. And then the Marketplace, and Paul will cover this off, has been a fantastic opening of our aperture for market access.
Absolutely. I mean, I think, Brian, it was an organization, again, that Microsoft put us onto, right, which helped us get our Microsoft listing, which is Tackle. They did a study in the last 12 months, and all of the evidence points to the fact that Marketplace this year is due to be a $10 billion business opportunity. By 2025, it's due to be a $50 billion marketplace. I mean, this is just exponential. It's so organizations need to be in the marketplace. And so what we're finding is, again, we got great help, great support from Microsoft. We, got launched. So we're listed on the Microsoft marketplace as fully transactable. And what we've been able to do with that, which is really now opening up that channel play that John talked to, because, we're really going after this at scale. Is we can now go very easily to any of those partners, and John described, so we've got the global telcos, for example, that we're going after that kind of SMB, SMC space with. And what we can do then is make a private offer to them. And then it's very, very easy for them to wrap their services around it and then go out with their own marketplace offer. We're really excited that in the US, of course, you've got the multiple party private offer, which, right now, and for some on the call will know what we're talking about, and others less so. But the point being is, in the value chain of delivering a finished solution to a client, there's typically several partners in that value chain. And what Microsoft has done a great job with Marketplace is allowing more than one partner to be in that transaction. So we've been able to take advantage of that in the US, and actually we're looking to launch when Microsoft do in the next market, which is the UK, in the first half of next calendar year. So what Marketplace is doing for us, Brian, is number one, it just takes the friction out of making yourself available. So, as it sounds like you're in then as this massive global marketplace. That makes it incredibly easy for both end customers, if they want to procure. It just takes the friction out of the, it's how clients want to buy today. That's why the marketplace is growing at the speed they are. But from a partner perspective, and taking offers with partners through go-to-markets into then the market together, there's a huge breakthrough, Brian. And again, a little bit about what we get working with Microsoft so closely is, the ISV Success program has been tremendous, and there were iterations before that. And again, for anybody on this call who's thinking about looking at how do you get more out of your relationship with Microsoft, if you're not in that program, it's a great one to look at. But you help us develop the product. So the whole Teams product, again, it was kind of co-funded, co-invested. We got got access to talent. We got so we really felt that we were on the inside developing the product. That makes a huge difference. And as I said earlier, the time that our engineering team put in early is now really paying dividends, because just turning on some more functionality, we've done all of the hard work, all the infrastructure, and the plumbing is laid. But the next piece then is, how do we go to market together?
That's right.
So we've got tremendous support through Microsoft. We work very closely with some of the global industry teams, financial services particularly, and the telco. So the video you saw earlier and the one that you'll show at the end of the show, they were actually developed with and for Microsoft's global financial industry teams, and have been launched. The one at the end of the show you'll see was launched last week at ITC in Vegas. And so again, it's the whole packaging up of, we've got the solution really deeply engineered. We've now got things like the friction taken out for the client of buying through things like the marketplace. That helps us scale out through the channel, and then actually co-selling and being engaged then in taking this thing together with Microsoft out into the field. So it really is. It's exciting for me, as you can imagine, Brian, being an ex-Microsoft, to be on this side of it, if you will.
That's right.
Because I always saw the opportunity to look, how can we do this with partners? And I'd say, like anything, Brian, it's we all work at it every day to make it better. But honestly, just the engagement together and things like tools like Marketplace and the ISV Success program, they really are just opening the field up for us. It's it's as I said earlier, it's great fun.
I love it, Paul. Well, gosh, thank you for all those shout outs on all the different things. And I'm glad that we were able to kind of go a little bit deeper on that, because again, that helps us, to your point, to scale and provide additional visibility and customer value, because the Mac decrement and the ability to then allow a partner to manage the process just within the marketplace capabilities on behalf of their end customers is pretty powerful. So we're going to run short on time. So with about 2 minutes left, John, maybe you can spend 1 minute talking about some of your one of your most favorite customer stories, because of course your industry alignment, you span multiple industries, but I know that you've had tremendous success across different areas. So maybe you can spend a minute talking about one of your favorite customer stories, and then we'll wrap it up with some call to actions and then show the video at the end.
Sure. I'm actually going to cover a couple of them because it shows the diversity of it. We're about to announce some fantastic wins. One is a US NFL franchise through AT&T, and that's the first of, we think, many NFL franchises that AT&T will bring us to, along with other customers. We're about to engage with a very large campaign, outbound campaign with AT&T, and of course they're one of the largest sellers of Teams globally. So that's very exciting for us. A 4-state power utility in the US through Call Tower, another fantastic win for us, and we're putting the messaging together on announcing that. An 8-country healthcare provider in Asia Pacific through our systems, fantastic win for us. A brilliant company through a brilliant partner, and that's very exciting for us. There's a lot of work that ourselves and our systems can do in Asia Pacific. Large European retailer that we're about to announce as well. So we've got lots and lots of diverse wins in different verticals, but the key thing here is also a French bank, by the way, sorry, I should have mentioned that. The key thing here is they all have in common that they are desperate to improve customer service. They see the opportunity of AI. They understand that having all of these disparate things that you have to pull together in projects in the background is not the basis for that, and that we, out of the box, can create a quick platform for this to happen. So it's like pulling the Christmas tree out of the box pre-decorated.
Yeah, and it's so apropos, John, because we're in that holiday season, and being able to pull the Christmas tree, not only just it's already done, but it's pre-lit. So you don't have to wrap lights around it. It just kind of like an umbrella. You open up the umbrella, and hey, it's all set up. I love those stories, John. So to wrap it up, because of course we do want to showcase the video at the end. Maybe you can quickly just talk about Paul, like next steps, like for people who are listening, and I'll flash up some critical sites, but maybe you can just touch upon what are some other things for people to learn more. If I'm a Microsoft employee, if I'm a partner, or maybe I'm a end customer that are like, wow, I have call center agents. This seems really interesting. How do people learn more? Yeah, and we'll just keep it really simple. And again, I know you've got the links on the on the show, Brian. If people just want to, connect with us, sales@solgari.com. Anybody who's on this call, just reach out to John or myself, and we'll make the connections. And then you can actually see the product in action with all of the videos on the solgari.com website, Brian. I love it. Yeah, I flashed it up, and I'll put one more up there too. These aren't clickable, but I'm sure the team can put stuff in the LinkedIn feed or just take a screenshot of this. This actually goes to one of the listings. Of course, there's many listings, one on the marketplace for Teams, on Azure, and of course, this is their listing for Dynamics. A lot of great places to get started. And as we wrap up the show, John and Paul, any last minute comments before we wrap it up and I showcase the video, a different video that really showcases and highlights and wraps up some of the things we talked about today?
Well, first of all, thanks, Brian, for having us. It's always a pleasure. Great to see you and talk to you. We'd also like to thank Microsoft for tagging our listings on the Azure and App Source marketplaces as preferred solutions. So we're delighted with that endorsement. Thank you very much for that. And we just look forward to doing more and more and more. I love it. Paul, anything?
No, really, I think John said it all, Brian. So again, thanks for the partnership, and anybody that's on the call, do reach out. It's incredibly exciting times, and there's such opportunity out there right now, because customer experience and employee engagement are on the top of every C-suite's mind right now. And we've got something really compelling here with Microsoft and with our partners. So yeah, look forward to people reaching out. Thanks again for inviting us.
Yeah, my pleasure. So definitely connect with John and Paul on LinkedIn. Utilize the resources we talked about. And thank you, everyone, for making the time again, either watching live or replay. ISV Success Live. You can look at as you see the ticker symbol below, follow the hashtag and or go to aka.ms/ISV Success Live to watch not only this recording, but any of the other ISVs that we've showcased and highlighted throughout the many years. So thanks again, John and Paul. Truly appreciate the partnership we have with Solgari. And I'll allow people to enjoy this video that we'll showcase. Take care, everybody. Talk soon.
Thank you.
Exceptional customer service is everyone's responsibility. Organizations that enable every employee to deliver it unlock a competitive advantage. Solgari intelligently connects people to the help they need fast. Powered by Microsoft Azure OpenAI services, Solgari enables every employee to be a customer service champion. Lydia has an open claim with her insurance company. Her insurer uses Solgari for Microsoft Teams and Dynamics 365, so Lydia can connect with them however she prefers, whether that's chat, voice, SMS, or social. Solgari's modern skills-based routing connects Lydia with Marco, an agent whose skill set matches her inquiry. Solgari and Dynamics 365 equips Marco with the details and assistance he needs to manage her inquiry. Marco can see all of Lydia's previous conversations, open case details, and current sentiment, all within a single application. Marco can quickly find an available specialist to help resolve Lydia's query. Solgari from Microsoft Teams enables every colleague, including outside the contact center, to contribute to a great customer experience. Solgari's Copilot provides Peter, the specialist, with a clear and concise summary of the conversation so far and Lydia's customer history. Peter has the detail and authority to give Lydia the clarity she wants. Solgari logs and records the conversation in Dynamics 365. Peter follows up on Lydia's preferred channel with a text recap of their conversation.
The positive sentiment in her response is shown in real time. The impact that Solgari has on customer satisfaction. Solgari enables organizations to deliver exceptional customer experiences with unrivaled speed to value. And Solgari accelerates customers toward the outcomes they want, knowing that their concerns will be taken care of by a company who understands them. Learn more at aka.ms/cloud for financial